Alright, so I'm re-recording this video because originally it was 20 something minutes long and it contained a lot of useless information, so I'm just gonna tell you my experience on how I met Becky Lynch and what exactly happened. So last October 2018, my dad won a sweepstakes, and in that sweepstakes he got a chance to meet the man and the miss, and he got to have a catered lunch with the miss, he got to have CrossFit with the man, and this was gonna happen during my Thanksgiving break. I wasn't going to be able to go due to the fact that I'm 16 and it was only 18 and older who can go on that trip to LA, which he did get a free plane ride to LA and he got to stay there for about 4 days, I think. But around that time, the man got her nose broken and she was unable to do CrossFit. To make up for it, they gave my dad a tour of Sony Studios and they told him that when they come to Florida, that he can bring me and they would be able to go and do the CrossFit in some place. Fast forward to January 8th, 2018, waking up at 7 in the morning and a chauffeur coming and picking me and my dad up and driving us all the way from Central Florida all the way up to Jacksonville. When we arrived, we went to a CrossFit center in this weird looking area. It was kind of just like in between a couple trees and stuff, and it was just like in a small part of the town. Around the time we got there, everyone was leaving, packing up, and inside there were about 4 more people. There was Becky Lynch's trainer, and then there were 2 other wrestlers, Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. Okay, let me clarify something. I don't know anything about wrestling, okay? I just got into this recently ever since this experience. So let me clarify, I did not know their names. I did not know what their thing was. I was just thinking, oh, that's cool. There's like famous people here who I don't recognize. My dad, I looked at him and he was very excited and he was very happy. He was nervous when the camera crew came though, because there was a camera crew that recorded us since he was a sweepstakes winner and he got to be on the WWE channel, link to that in the description below. But anyways, I took a picture with Cesaro, but I didn't take a picture with Daniel Bryan because he left by the time that I like had the courage to do it, because he was like doing a warm-up or a cool down or something and I really didn't want to disturb him, so yeah. Before Daniel Bryan left, Becky Lynch got there, and it was just Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Becky Lynch, and the 3 of them were just talking there right before Cesaro and Daniel had to leave. And then they interviewed me. They interviewed me, my dad. They asked me about what I wanted to see out of this experience, what I wanted to do with my dad after this, and they asked me why I didn't want to do the CrossFit with her, because I had a chance to do the CrossFit with her, but I didn't want to. And they asked me if seeing my dad would change my mind, and I said no. And it still didn't change my mind. Like, I kind of was thinking, like, she's kind of inspirational. She was a very nice person, but she was very nice, very encouraging of my dad when they were doing the CrossFit, and I really thought that she was a cool person. I've never heard of these people before. Like, I've seen them, like, whenever I walk past my dad watching a match in WWE, but then like actually seeing them in person, I just thought, like, these people look familiar, but I don't know what they do. But there wasn't really much to the CrossFit besides me standing there for 3 hours and the camera guy and like the producer or one of them was like, hey, can we get a shot of you just like recording him like really close, because I was off to the corner recording them. But that was about it for like my experience being there. My dad's the one who experienced the most out of it. He got happy when he went into LA in November. They gave him 2 replica belts and he got them signed by Paige and the miss, and he got the both replica belts signed by the man. And it was nice. It was good to see him happy, and he even got some pictures signed that he was very excited to just show her a picture of her with her nose bleeding and holding a belt. I had very few interactions due to the fact that I was very reserved and I felt very uncomfortable because I'd never been like in that area and I didn't know what was there, and I was mostly just there brainstorming, curious. I'm like, what am I gonna see when I leave here? And nerding out about the camera crew because I really like cameras and I like editing and things like that. And during the workout, I was wearing a shirt that they sent me for a movie that the Man and the Miz were going to be a part of. I don't remember the name. It's like Marine 7, Marine 6. I hope I don't anger anyone. But I wore that shirt and she saw it and then she like gave me a thumbs up. She like looked, I remember she was like scanning me at one point and she looked at me and we made eye contact and she just gave me a thumbs up and she like I could read her lips going, yeah, dude, or something like that. Something along those lines. And then besides that, I was showing her like some pictures that I took when Becky and my dad were together after the filming. After the whole CrossFit thing, the same chauffeur who was like waiting around in the area, he took us to a hotel, and I felt very, very, very out of place there due to the fact that I'm wearing like a t-shirt, jeans, and like a hoodie, and my dad is just wearing shorts and a shirt, and we're in this hotel, and the only people there were like wearing suits or they were wearing really, really nice clothing, and then I look at my dad and I'm like, don't you feel very out of place here? I mean, it's so big and, like, there's a lot of breakable things here. And he said, yeah, man, I know, but, like, I just want to go up and take a shower. And then we go up to our building, like, on the 4th floor. And we just stayed there until 8 when we waited for SmackDown. And then another chauffeur came, dropped us off where they were having the match. And we just watched it. And my first experience with WWE was a live match. And it was amazing. And I really enjoyed it. That was a nice bonding time with me and my dad. And honestly, this was one of the times where, like, to me, personally, I feel like there are very little times where me and my dad can, like, legitimately bond. So I really loved this experience, and I loved how I took it. And it just ended up so well. Now I kind of like WWE, and I'm leaning towards being a fan. And, but back to what I saw. Back to what I saw in the actual match. The match itself was pretty good. I didn't know what was gonna happen because I don't know how these things are. And my dad was telling me, yeah, they're gonna my dad could predict who was gonna win, and he was always right. And I was just sitting there watching the whole time. Because if you watch it on TV, it's different than watching it live. Because on TV, they change the angles frequently. Me, I was sitting right behind the announcers. There was like this one announcer. He was like a bald guy, and he was blocking my view the majority of the time. Cause like there was like there's one row in front of us, and then in front of that row is just no space, but like a wall. The wall is where like the announcers were sitting. And if I had to look straight up in order to see like the thing with the 4 screens, and yeah, and and my dad and we were just enjoying it, and there's a lot of spaces with me saying "and" because I'm trying to scan back to this. It's February. This happened in January. They didn't upload the video until earlier in January. Early February is when they uploaded the actual video. Okay, I switch topics too frequently. Back to the original topic I was talking about. So when you're watching it live, you're watching it at one consistent angle. And I was there, and I was so intrigued by the match, and it just makes you anxious, cause you know how you're supposed to like, when you watch wrestling, you tap 3 times, right? 1, 2, 3. Every single person after 2, they immediately get up or they bounce or something, and it just. Like, I'm thinking, hey, if this is a street fight, the person's immediately gonna get up, and they're just gonna turn them over and then do the 1, 2, 3, right? But it's not a street fight. They use different rules, and it's a whole. All right, I'm not. My memory is all mixed up. I stumble when I speak. I'm just gonna end this off by saying I love this experience, and thank you WWE for letting me and my dad go and meet Becky Lynch, watch SmackDown, and just have a night together, So anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. This is Kurffy. I'm leaving a link in the description to watch the original video of when me and my dad got to meet Becky Lynch. And again, thank you WWE. I can now say that I am becoming a fan. And thank you, Becky, as well, for this experience. I believe that there's a very, very high chance the very little people from WWE are going to watch this, and I think there's an even smaller chance that like people are gonna watch this and think, oh yeah, this guy actually met Becky. But regardless, thank you all so much, and goodbye. Bro, guys, look at how beautiful this view is. It's just me and my dad. I am so thankful, so lucky, and so blessed to be here. Legitimately, it is so nice, especially this beautiful view right here. Man, I hope I can have more fun times like this, honestly, because it is one of those moments where I'm happy that I get to bond with my dad, you know? Oh, this is so beautiful. This is legitimately the beautifulest thing I've ever seen in real life. Man, it's so pretty. I'm happy I got to meet Becky Lynch, a couple other wrestlers. It was a great experience.